3 weeks ago, a man walked into her hospital and said the four words she had grown to fear. Doctor, na just stress. She had heard those words before, and the last time she believed them, she lost a patient. This time, Dr. Best swore it would be different. This is her story, and the man whose life depended on her refusing to make the same mistake twice. Dr. Best was 4 months into her housemanship at a general hospital in the southwest. Young, sharp, the kind of doctor who still wrote things down in a small notebook because she didn't trust her brain after a 36-hour call. But there was something else she carried that her colleagues didn't know about. 2 months earlier, a woman in her 40s had come to her complaining of headaches and tiredness. She was new then, unsure of herself, and her senior had waved it off. Na common stress abeg, discharge am, patient dey waste. She listened. She discharged him. 3 days later, she was rushed back in, collapsed at home. By the time they stabilized her, the damage to her kidneys were already done. Nobody blamed her out loud, but she blamed herself enough for everyone. Since then, Dr. Best believed and developed a habit her colleagues found almost stubborn. She asked one extra question, always, "Are you sure it's just stress?" Some patients found it annoying. Her seniors found it slow, but she couldn't shake it, not after that woman's face. That morning, before Mr. Adewale ever walked in, Dr. Best had already argued, gently, with a senior doctor about a young woman complaining of chest tightness who had been labelled anxiety, just stress, observe and discharge. "Just check her ECG, sir," she said. The doctor sighed. "Dr. Best, na every patient you wan run test for? Dis place no get space for dat kind time o." She ran the ECG anyway, on her break. It came back normal. The doctor smirked. She didn't argue back, but she didn't apologize either. Better safe than sorry, she told herself. She didn't know it yet, that her stubbornness was about to matter more than ever. For the man waiting outside, holding his head, insisting to anyone who asked that he was just stressed. Mr. Adewale was a 52-year-old man. He had been in the civil service almost all his life and was the kind of man who believed paracetamol solved 90% of Nigerians' problems, including marital arguments. The symptoms started small. A small headache here, dizziness there. One morning, he stood up too fast from his office chair and the whole room did a little dance in front of him. His secretary looked at him with a worried expression on her face and asked if he was okay. "I'm fine oh," he said, waving her off. "Na small stress. The way our oga dey load work for me, even Iroko tree go get headache." 2 weeks later, he started forgetting small things. His car key, what he ate for breakfast, and even a colleague's name he had known for 10 years. His wife, Mama Tunde, noticed it too. "Baba Tunde, you don change oh," she said. "You dey forget things like person wey just born." He laughed it off. "Madam abeg, na just work wahala. Once I rest small, I go dey normal." Denial. Familiar, Nigerian, and dangerous denial. Small rest never came. In fact, things got worse. The blurry vision started, sudden flashes where his sight dimmed like a phone screen losing brightness. Old age wahala, he told himself. Then the numbness, a tingling in his left hand, pins dancing under his skin. He flexed his fingers and blamed it on sleeping wrong, even though he hadn't. One Sunday at church, he stood to greet a friend, and his legs almost gave out. He gripped the pew quickly and laughed it off. I just stood up too fast, and he sat down quickly before anyone could ask more questions. But his wife, Mama Tunde, saw it, and this time she didn't laugh along with him. That night, the family gathered. Not a formal meeting, just the usual living room drama that happens when a Nigerian family senses something is wrong. His daughter, home from university, was blunt. Daddy, you need to see a doctor. See doctor for what? He scoffed. Doctor go just give injection, charge me 20,000 and call it one name like that wey I no even sabi. His son tried humour. Daddy, even Sani the suya man, e don go check im BP. Abi you wan disgrace us before suya seller? The whole family burst into laughter. Mama Tunde ended the debate, ice entering her voice. If you no go hospital tomorrow, na me and you go enter one trouser for dis house. Grumbling, Mr. Adewale finally agreed to go. The queue moved slowly, the way Nigerian hospital queues always do. When his turn came, it was, and you guessed it, Dr. Best who called him in. She checked his vitals. His blood pressure was very high. Not you need to calm down and worry less high, but the other kind, the dangerous kind. She asked her usual questions, the ones she now asks everyone without exceptions. Any blood vision? Numbness? Headaches? Dizziness? He answered yes to almost all of them, still insisting, Doctor, help me tell my wife say na just stress. I just need to rest small. But something in the pattern, the one-sided numbness, the vision flashes, the headaches stacking on top of each other made her chest tighten. It felt too close to a memory she hadn't let go of yet. This time, she wasn't going to discharge anyone on just stress alone. Not again. Sir, I need to run more tests, Dr. Best said, her voice steady despite the urgency underneath it. Blood pressure monitoring, blood sugar, and kidney function test, even a scan. Mr. Adewale sighed, irritated by what he thought were unnecessary tests, but one dangerous look from his wife kept him seated. 2 days later, results in hand, Dr. Best sat across from Mr. Adewale. Her voice was calm, but there was something fierce underneath it. The voice of someone who had failed once and refused to fail again. Mr. Adewale, she said, what you have been calling stress is actually severe hypertension. And those episodes of numbness and blood visions, those were transient ischemic attacks, also known as mini strokes. Silence. The kind of silence that makes a room feel smaller. If this had gone on untreated, she continued, you were heading towards a full stroke. His wife gasped. His daughter's hand flew to her mouth, and Mr. Adewale, for the first time since this entire thing started, said nothing. Dr. Best exhaled, quietly, privately. Somewhere in that breath was a relief for a different patient too, the one she couldn't save the first time. She explained it gently, simply, the way she always did. High blood pressure, left unchecked, slowly damages blood vessels, including the small ones feeding the brain. When blood flow to a part of the brain is briefly interrupted, it causes a mini stroke, temporary numbness, vision changes, dizziness, and confusion. These episodes pass quickly, which is why people dismiss them as stress or tiredness. But they are urgent signals, warnings that a major stroke could follow. Your body wasn't being dramatic, she told him. It was sending you signals. You just didn't want to listen. Mr. Adewale was placed on blood pressure medications, given strict dietary guidance, less salt, less fried foods, and more vegetables. He was also encouraged to start light daily exercises. Regular checkups became non negotiable. Slowly but surely, the headaches faded, the tingling stopped. Mama Tunde stood guard over his tablet like a strict headmistress. 3 months later, smiling and healthier, Mr. Adewale returned for a routine checkup and met Dr. Best in the corridor. Doctor, he said, if you hadn't insisted, I for don dey somewhere now paralyzed come dey blame my village people for wetin dem no do. Dr. Best laughed. Not a polite laugh, but a hearty one. The one that went deeper than politeness. For the first time since that case 2 months ago, the weight in her chest eased a little. She hadn't gotten a second chance with the woman she lost, but she had gotten one with this one. She hadn't wasted it, thankfully. Many of us, like Mr. Adewale, brush off symptoms because we are scared of the truth or too busy to even listen to our bodies. The body doesn't lie. It whispers first, then it shouts. But the story isn't only about a man who ignored his warning signs. It's about a young doctor who learned the hard way that just stress is sometimes the most dangerous sentence in a hospital, and choose every shift after that to ask one more question. Somewhere in every hospital, there is a Dr. Best, tired, underpaid, overworked, who refuses to just let stress be the final word. That stubbornness, that extra question, is sometimes the only thing standing between a patient and tragedy. If this story touched you, share it with someone who keeps saying it's just stress. It might just save their life. Like, subscribe, and turn on notification, because next week we follow Dr. Best into another shift and another patient who insists they are just fine.